be free. Palestine. From the river to the sea. Palestine is almost free. From the river to the sea.
I heard that there was going to be a counter-protest by Startup Nation, which, as far as I know, is a Zionist organization. And I wasn't sure whether to come down or not. Did not expect there to be this many people, but here I am in order to support the students and in order to support the anti-genocide movement. The media discourse that I've seen has largely been about the protests being pro-Hamas or anti-Semitic. The protests that I've been to in Montreal generally is that there are a lot of Jewish people involved.
When people say from the river to the sea, some people assume it means expel all the Jews from the region.
What it means is a single secular state in which everyone can live regardless of faith or ethnicity, Jews, Christians, Muslims, and atheists, whoever, right? I don't think that for very many people it means the total expulsion of Jews from the territory. I mean, it would be a mirroring of what happened during the Nakba, right? So exactly, it's not about retribution, right? It's not about revenge, an eye for an eye, this kind of thing. It's rather about peaceful coexistence in a single state.
When I ask people here, they say, we just want a secular state. Is that how you see it?
Absolutely, that's how I see it. I think for me, ultimately the most just solution is a one-state solution where both sides are living together, and I think it's, I think it's possible too. They don't go and bother to ask anyone in this camp what their interpretation is, right? And so, if you want to see like a genocidal or sort of anti-Palestinian state stuff, you can go and look at the Likud charter, and that says very specifically that the Likud will make sure that no Palestinian state will ever be created. So why do we not talk about that kind of anti-peace rhetoric, and we focus on this, which is actually, in my view, it's like it's a chant for peace. It's a chant for these two sides to be living in one state. I grew up in a secular household, but I still had a bar mitzvah to honor my grandparents who were Holocaust survivors. I've had that sort of in my mind of my grandparents being Holocaust survivors. I've always had the sort of never again to anyone.
Is it hard to have these conversations with other Jewish people? Is it something you'll continue doing?
It is hard. I like to engage people who are maybe grew up Zionists and have a bit of empathy for them as well, because when you grow up going to a Jewish school, like this stuff is fed to you constantly, right?
There is one thing that kind of troubles me, and that's that when the pro-Palestinian side chants from the river to the sea, it is assumed by the Israeli side that they're saying, we want to commit genocide, we want to expel every Jew from this land. But when the Israeli side says from the river to the sea, it's just patriotic. And I don't think that's a good faith interpretation. I think a lot of maliciousness is projected onto the pro-Palestinian side that isn't always there. Of course there are knuckleheads. There are knuckleheads there. There's knuckleheads there. You're always going to get knuckleheads. The human condition is that we produce knuckleheads. And that may not be the most scientific term, but I really do think that there is a sort of doublespeak when it comes to the rhetoric that's used. We were just on the other side of the Roddick Gates at McGill University talking to the pro-Palestinian encampment. Now we're going to go talk to some people in pro-Israeli rally organized by Startup Nation. Let's check it out. I'm happy that this appears to be on both sides. No one's engaging with anybody in a on days where it seems like things are dark. I find that it's good to come away with some positives. Are there any positives you can come away with today?
Yeah, first of all, as you already said, the one positive is that we're staying apart. No one, I would hope, wants a confrontation. It's unfortunate that we need this level of police presence. I wish we didn't need it, but that seems to be the case. So we're bringing another side to this. We're showing that we're not going to just let another group with at times, honestly, hateful messaging take over our campus. So I've gone past this encampment many times over the past few days. They're not, for the most part, physically blocking anyone, and they're largely contained to lower fields where they've been for the past few days. But a number of times that I've gone past, I've heard crazy stuff. And yesterday, I came by just for a few minutes. I heard them chanting, "Yemen, Yemen, turn another ship around." This is a clear support for terrorism, for Houthi terrorism in Yemen. Look, I don't know individually people are supporting or not, but I think when you're chanting things like this and support Yemen, turn another ship around, it's hard to say you're not supporting it. They're directly next to the main library of McGill. How are you supposed to study when you hear things like this? Being chanted all day long. If you're talking about true peace, it's only going to happen when there's serious understanding on both sides of the histories and the backgrounds of everyone. That's how we're going to get to true peace. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening anytime soon, but I pray for it every day, and I hope that it comes soon. I've heard a lot of their language, and they say the Zionists are aggressors, the Zionists are this, they're that. And first of all, a lot of people take it to mean the Jews are aggressors, the Jews are this, and then there's all gets convoluted and all sorts of ideas. And I wish everyone can just see us as being peaceful, and we're not looking to provoke anyone, we're not looking to be aggressive in any sense. That's not the case.
One of the speakers over here was emphasizing that on the Palestinian side, there's vandalism and hate and an illegal occupation of the campus, and they're blocking students from going to class. That is a little bit misleading. Nobody's being blocked from going to class. People might feel unsafe because of the chants they heard, and I totally empathize with them. But there isn't a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of people talking past people, and there's a lot of people misrepresenting the other side. And that, I don't think, is going to lead to progress.
I think we should fight for a better future for Palestinians. I'm from Israel, and they say that. But there is some people there that their goal is to delegitimize the existence of Israel. And, we've been fighting to have a home for hundreds, thousands of years, and we've been persecuted everywhere we go. So we can't have that, and that's why everybody else is here. Because we do deserve a home. And if they shout for Palestinian rights, that's fine. But if they shout for the destruction of Israel, it's not the same thing. Intifada, in the 2000, what it resulted in was 10,000 Israeli people that were bombed in buses and in restaurants, and civilians mostly. Intifada also means shaking off. In terms of Arabic. The question, in what way do they mean shaking off? In Israel, what happened in 1948, there's been a war and a lot of people have moved. But Israel proper was given by the UN the same as Palestine. It was given the same. Maybe the West Bank in some point will become Palestine, and maybe that's the solution that can solve all of that. Actually, I think the moment that we stop fighting, we actually see how similar we can be. And I wish we could see that a bit more.
We tried to interview women. We only got 4 men. We asked a bunch. They said no. I totally get it. It seems like we're at a bit of an impasse where a lot of the question here is the legitimacy of the state of Israel in many cases. And you have one side that questions the legitimacy of a state created on contested land, or on land that Palestinians have lived on for generations and have a historical claim to. And then you have another side that says, well, the way Israel exists right now is untenable, right? You have 2 different sets of people living on the same land with 2 different sets of rights, and where, Gaza has become a killing field and an open-air prison. So it is untenable, and I have no idea what the way forward is. I'm glad that it's peaceful. Some of the rhetoric is a little bit heated,